Welcome to the very first episode of the Dartpit podcast. I am your host, Cooper, and your co-host,
Tristan.
And we are here to, I guess, make a podcast. We already tried this once.
Oh,
An hour of recording, and OBS is a pile of garbage, so it corrupted the entire file, and we lost all that recording. So I
very,
wasn't
very fun
making,
time.
yeah, it was not good. So I waited a day, and I want to upload this podcast today, Wednesday, but it might not be out till Thursday tomorrow. It depends. So yeah, so it's a bit of a
Let's
struggle.
get right into it.
Yeah. So first off, we just want to let you, or I guess tell you guys a little bit about ourselves. My name is Cooper. I am 15, almost 16 years old. I've wanted to do a podcast for a while. I honestly think they're pretty cool. And especially our crazy friends, that we have in our friend group, are pretty interesting. So we will have them on. But sitting around and when we have conversations and stuff, sometimes I don't even play video games when we're in a party together. I just sit there and I listen and talk and stuff, and I was like, this would make a pretty good podcast, I think. We just get into some discussions here and there. Yes, me and Tristan both live in Canada. We live in the same town. We go to school together, and that's another thing I really like about our, my friend group. I play with them online, and I, hang out and stuff with them in real life. Some people aren't like that. Some people have different friends online and everything like that. And then in real life, they have a separate friend group. Luckily, I don't have that, because I feel like that would be weird. But hey, I don't judge. Like I said, I play video games. I sound like I'm doing an interview for a job, but I'm not. But yeah, I think that's all I
Yeah.
have to say. Tristan, you want to say a couple things?
Yeah, I'm Tristan. I'm your co-host. Yeah, like you said, we go to the same school. We're both in grade 10. I'm 15. I think my birthday's a little. He's 14 days older than me, I think, so it's coming up
Something like
definitely.
that.
Um, yeah, and yeah, like you said, all our friends, we go to the same school, except a couple of them that you'll probably be seeing on the podcast in a little bit. Yeah, we like to play video games. This podcast is mostly going to be about just all around, really. It's going to be about video games, movies. We really like hockey, obviously being from Canada. So we're probably going to have a little hockey corner every once in a while. We might get into the playoffs. Are actually, I don't think they're quite happening right now. They're going to be happening in
At
about
the
an
time
hour. The
recording
first,
this, the first game I believe starts it's either 7 o'clock or 7:30. It's 6:24
yeah,
p.m. right now. The first playoff game starts in about an hour, I think. I don't know if it's
yeah,
7:30 or 7 o'clock, something like that. Me personally, I am
yeah.
a Leafs fan. I've been a Leafs fan growing up. I've loved the Leafs for a long time. I'm also a big football fan. I do play football for our school team. I am a Philadelphia Eagles fan. People might say I'm a bandwagoner. I've liked the Eagles for I think about 5 years now, so I'm not a
Yeah, he's
bandwagoner.
not a bandwagoner. Not a
Um,
bandwagoner. I can't confirm.
I was really hyped when we did win the Super Bowl because that's the first team that I actually like that has won a championship. In a sport that I actually follow, won a championship. The Leafs, you know, 51 years without winning a Stanley Cup. Way past my time, but maybe this year's the year. Probably not, but I don't know. We'll see.
Not thinking so personally. Myself, I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. 24 Stanley Cups. That's about it. Not doing too well this year, sadly. We're 28th in the league, so that's not very fun. But yeah, what conversation were we on before we started talking about hockey? Oh yeah, what the podcast is about. So yeah, it's mostly going to be about hockey, video games, and just us messing around.
Yeah,
Lots of lots of shenanigans. I'd assume is probably going to go on in this podcast. So watch out for that.
yeah. Also, too, I'm not gonna say just hockey. Different sports.
Yeah.
Probably hockey, football. I used to play baseball. I'm not a big watcher on baseball, not a big follower on baseball. But something happens here and there. I might talk about it. Um, Basketball, same thing. I'm not a really big basketball guy myself. I do have a couple friends that are, so maybe they could come on and we could chat basketball. But I'm a big hockey fan. I've loved hockey since I was a little kid. I don't play hockey, surprisingly. I would really like to play hockey. Like I said, I used to play baseball when I was little, t-ball and stuff, and then growing up I stopped, and then I've been playing football for a little bit now. So it's a little bit about me. Tristan, if you have anything else to say about you.
Not really. I live a pretty boring life usually.
We have
Don't
a
really play football.
Canadian
I'm not.
Tire employee.
Oh yes, Canadian Tire employee. Yeah, I work at Canadian Tire. Possibly the most Canadian job you could have besides working at Tim Hortons, I think, or being a maple syrup farmer. That's also Canadian. I went on a trip to Europe not too long ago, so we'll definitely talk about that in a later episode. But in this episode, we're just going to be talking a little bit about ourselves, and I think we're probably going to go over our playoff brackets for the NHL since that's coming up. On NHL.com and the NHL app, there's this thing you can do. It's the bracket challenge. So basically, you fill out your NHL playoff bracket to which teams you think are going to make it past rounds, how many games it's going to be, and for the Stanley Cup final game, how many goals you think are going to be obtained by the teams. And it's fun. There's multiple league things you can do in it. So currently I'm in two leagues. I'm in the NHL league that the person who comes closest to predicting the full playoff tree gets a prize to go to Las Vegas for the award ceremony, and there are a bunch of other prizes for second and third place and so on. And then there's just a league, mine and Cooper's league, which just has me, Cooper, and a couple of our friends. We're just doing it for fun. So yeah, I think we're gonna definitely go into that. Do you want to do that right now, Cooper?
Yeah,
That
I'm not gonna go as in depth as I did in the other
forgotten
podcast.
episode, lost for it.
Yeah, that episode will never be aired. I can't do anything about it. I tried. Um, so that right now is the lost episode. Um,
Yep.
like I said, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm just going to tell you guys what my bracket is, and then Tristan will go into his bracket. My bracket for the very first round, between Nashville and Colorado, I have Nashville winning that in 5 games. The Winnipeg Jets and the Minnesota Wild, I have the Winnipeg Jets winning that in 6 games. The Vegas Golden Knights against the Los Angeles Kings, I have the Vegas Golden Knights winning that in 5 games. The Anaheim Ducks and the San Jose Sharks, I have the Sharks winning that in 5 games. We move over to the Eastern Conference. The Tampa Bay Lightning and the New Jersey Devils. I have the Lightning winning that in 5 games. The Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I have the Leafs. I know it's a bit biased, but I have the Leafs winning that in 6 games. The Washington Capitals, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm saying that Washington's going to win that in 5 games. And then the Pittsburgh Penguins and Philadelphia Flyers. I have Philadelphia winning that in 7 games. For the second round, obviously it would be the Nashville Predators and the Winnipeg Jets. I chose the Nashville Predators to win that one. I'm saying that game's going to go 6 games, and the Nashville Predators are going to win that in 6 games. The second round for Vegas and San Jose, I have Vegas winning that one. I'm probably going to say it's going to be done in 5 games. That's what I feel anyways. You could disagree. For the second round of the Eastern Conference, obviously Tampa Bay and the Toronto Maple Leafs. I have the Leafs winning that one. I know I might be biased again, but I'm saying it's going to be a 7-game series, and the Leafs are going to come out on top. And for the last one, the Washington Capitals and the Philadelphia Flyers, I'm saying the Caps are going to win that in 6 games. So then we have the finals, the Western Conference final between the Nashville Predators and the Vegas Golden Knights. I have the Nashville Predators making it into the playoffs. And for the Eastern Conference Final, I have the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Washington Capitals, who I think that the Washington Capitals are going to beat the Leafs. It pains me to say it, but I do feel like that's what's going to happen, even though I'm a Leafs fan. But, you know, the Leafs being a young team and everything, don't have that much playoff experience. It's going to be a tough one. And then for the Stanley Cup Finals, I think that the Washington Capitals are going to win it. I believe it's going to be in 6 games. And in the Stanley Cup Final game, I believe it's going to come down and there's going to be 4 goals in that game. All right, so that was my bracket. Tristan, you want to go ahead and do yours?
Yep. Okay, so me and Cooper's bracket, pretty similar. There are a couple differences. I think there's one difference in the second round in both of them. So anyway, my first round, Western Conference, we're going to start off with Nashville and in Colorado. That's going to be a pretty open and shut game series. I think that's going to close down in 5 games with Nashville winning it, of course. Then Winnipeg versus Minnesota. I think that's going to be sadly even more one-sided with Winnipeg getting that in 4 games. I'm saying that Vegas is going to edge out Los Angeles in 6 games. I'm thinking that between Anaheim and San Jose is going to win that in 6 games as well. Moving over to the Western Conference, Tampa Bay and New Jersey. This is a very controversial view, but I think that New Jersey can actually edge out Tampa Bay in 7 games here. All these are just our speculations also. Take them with a grain of salt. Who knows? Maybe all of these are going to be wrong. But moving on, I think that Boston will beat Toronto. I think that's going to be in 5 games. I don't, like Cooper said, their experience. They're not a very experienced playoff team. Meanwhile, Boston making the playoffs nearly every year. Washington in Columbus. Columbus, I don't think that's a playoff team, so Washington, I think, is going to take that in 4. Pittsburgh and Philly. Philly, that's going to be a really good series. That's probably going to be. I'm probably going to watch 3 of the first 8 matchups. That's definitely going to be one of them, since I have friends on either side. But I say that's going to go to Philly in 7. Moving back over to the Western. We got Nashville and Winnipeg. I think that Winnipeg is going to win that in 7. Then Vegas and San Jose. I think Vegas is going to win that in 6. And then New Jersey and Boston. I'm saying that New Jersey just doesn't have enough left in the tank after Tampa Bay, and I'm saying that Boston's going to win that in 6 as well. Then Washington and Philadelphia. Much like New Jersey, I don't think Philly's going to have enough in the tank for that one, so I think Washington is going to win in 5. Then back to the Western. Winnipeg and Vegas. I want Vegas to do good, so I might have a little bias there, like just a Cinderella story of them drafting a dream team, and then just coming out of nowhere, coming second in their division, I believe. And then making the playoffs. Obviously, I think that they are going to be able to beat Winnipeg. I think it is going to be a close series, though. I think it's going to go to Game 7. Then Boston and Washington. I think that Washington, after getting past that second round, obviously, are going to be more rejuvenated than anything, and I think that they're going to be able to edge Boston. That also, I think, is going to be a very close series, one to keep an eye on if it does happen. And I think that they're going to be able to do that in 7 as well. And then the Stanley Cup Finals, I think that's basically going to be a war of attrition. Obviously, all these teams making it past those first 3 rounds there. I think that depending on the injuries, it could go either way, but I'm picking Vegas to do it in 7. So yeah, that's my playoff bracket, and I said that there's going to be 5 goals in that last game.
So you're saying that the Vegas Golden Knights are going to pull off the Cinderella story and win the Stanley Cup in their inaugural season?
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping for that. That would just be the best story to tell people, like especially when you're like old, 50 years old, talking down to your grandchildren, being like, "Oh yes, I remember when the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup their first year in the league." Like that'd just be an awesome story, especially if you were on that team to tell. Like William Karlsson went from a 9-goal season last year to 43 this year. That's kind of amazing. James Neal, obviously, he did really well. He started the season a little bit better than he ended it with, but also their goaltending. I don't think there's quite any goaltending like it in the league. Obviously, having Fleury to start off with, then Malcolm Subban, PK Subban's brother. Even we knew that team was going to be a good team, and it wasn't a fluke when their goalie crisis happened, when they were all the way down to their 4th or 5th string goalie, like their AHL backup goalie, and they were still winning games. Like we knew that was going to be a good team when that happened. Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it is possible. I'm not saying it's not. Obviously, you know how Vegas, how successful they've been and everything like that. I just want to apologize for the background noise. My dogs. I have 3 dogs. I'm sorry. It's gonna get better. I promise. Like, I don't want to delay this podcast any more than it already has been. I've already had to stop once. Not gonna lie. I'm not perfect. I really wish the recording worked out yesterday. I had no interruptions whatsoever, and
Yeah,
it was really good.
podcast.
But if you do hear the dogs in the background, just give me some slack, okay? I'm gonna get better at this. Okay, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and get better. I'm not perfect. But this is our first podcast. There's always gonna be some bumps, and like I said, I don't want to delay this anymore because I feel like I really want to get this episode out. Because if I don't get it out today, then who knows? I might not even do this. I might just feel defeated and not do this. But like I said, back to the conversation. Yes, the Vegas Golden Knights. I honestly, me personally, I don't think they're going to be able to make it through there to the Stanley Cup final even. Like I said, I think it's Nashville, but like I said, it is possible. The way they've been playing this year, obviously, getting a Marc-Andre Fleury and like Tristan was saying, William Karlsson, who's had an unbelievable season, spectacular season. Like I said, it is possible. Obviously, anything's possible. Like I said, even the Leafs could possibly win the Cup this year. We don't know. Making the playoffs is the first step, and then, taking it game by game, series by series, like that. And then, doing all those things. I was going to say something I cannot remember for the life of me what I was going to say. Oh, yeah, it was... yeah, like Tristan said, it's going to come down to the attrition of both teams, I guess, in the Stanley Cup final. The injuries, being exhausted from playing playoff hockey, because playoff hockey is a lot different from, in the regular season. The refs are a little bit...
Every goal counts.
Well, that, but also the refs are a little bit... lighter on the whistles. They let a lot of things go, the slashing and different things. Obviously, to an extent, they're not going to let you, hack an arm or a finger off. But
speaking of hack, let me just interrupt you. We forgot to explain why this podcast is called the Dartpit Podcast, and just the word hack reminded me of. So, if you don't know, there's a Canadian slang word called dart, and dart is basically a cigarette. I'm not sure how far the word dart has gotten. It originated in our corner of Ontario here, southwestern Ontario is where it originated from. Somebody actually did a study on slang words from here, and that's where it originated from. I've talked to people from Toronto. It hasn't even gotten there yet, so. Who knows? We might have to rename the podcast because too many people don't know what it is. But anyway, so darts, that's the first part of it. But a dart pit. So in our school, there are a bunch of barrels that surround the school where all the people who smoke cigarettes, because we're technically not allowed to smoke cigarettes on school property. Not that I smoke cigarettes, but they aren't smoke cigarettes on school property. So right like uh, on the sidewalks they have cigarette barrels. So that's the dart pit. Anything you want to add, Cooper?
No. If you didn't catch that, Tristan was kind of glitching out a little bit there.
Oh,
Like I
was I?
said, yeah,
Shit.
it wasn't that bad. Um, but like I said, give us a break. It's we're not even in the same area. Well, I guess we are in the same area, but we're not in the same house. So we're recording this podcast over internet. So there's gonna be lagging sometimes. Like I said, yeah, Tristan pretty much got it. And the kids that go out there usually don't come to class and stuff, so we think it's pretty funny, everything like that. So that's why we named it the Dart Pit. I also think it's a catchy name, and everything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tristan pretty much nailed it on the head. Um,
What do
yeah,
you want to talk about now?
I'm not sure. Um, I don't know. Like I kind
Do you
of.
want to go into
Pardon? Go ahead.
Do you want to go into the Spider-Man game? Have you heard much about the Spider-Man game?
I
The new one
haven't
that's coming
heard
out?
a lot about it. I've seen it. It looks pretty good. Obviously, being movie fans and stuff like that, our fan group, and I know it sounds really nerdy, but we are pretty big Marvel fans. I just recently started getting into the whole lore and everything. I watched the movies. I just really didn't understand the connection and everything. I knew they were connected, but I didn't really get into it and everything like that. Obviously, it being April right now, Infinity War comes out. When? What day is it?
Um, Let me see
Let's
here.
do a quick Google search.
Yeah. It appears that it is coming out April 25th. So it's the 14th today. The 11th. So quick maths, 14 days. 14 days till it comes out. So that's gonna be. I think we're gonna go see it opening day. A couple of us. I'm not sure if you're coming or not, but
I
I'm
want
hoping
to,
that it's
but
gonna be a good movie.
hopefully, I feel like it's going to be a good movie. I've honestly been
Yeah.
looking forward to this for a while. After seeing Black Panther, which was probably one of in my personal opinion, one of the better Marvel films. I feel like they've been doing really good. Spider-Man: Homecoming was pretty alright. And then we got Thor: Ragnarok, which was pretty good. I really liked that movie. It was a really good one. And then obviously Black Panther, which is a really good movie. I really recommend if you haven't seen it to watch it.
Yeah.
But Marvel's Avengers: Infinity War, I feel like it's gonna be a good one. I do. I really do feel like it's gonna
Yeah.
be a
I'm
good.
hoping so.
I honestly think it's
Marvel,
going to be. Marvel is.
yeah, Marvel usually doesn't mess up on movies too often. The only one I can think of off the top of my head was the first Daredevil. Was it a movie or TV show they tried to make in the 2000s, like 2004, 3, I think.
Um,
That's the only like really bad one. But besides that, they've been on the ball with all the movies that they've made in the past while, interlacing them in the Marvel universe. I think they did a really good job with that, pacing themselves obviously to release one or two a year. But they're supposed to ramp it up here soon, so that's gonna be interesting.
yeah, I'm honestly really excited for that movie. I feel like it's gonna be I feel like it's gonna be a pretty good movie. So,
Back on topic with the
yeah,
Spider-Man game. I actually haven't seen too much of it, but obviously Spider-Man games are pretty hit and miss. I think there've been two really good ones and two really bad ones. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a good one. From everything I've seen from it so far, it looks good. But that might be you played Shadow of War, right, Cooper? Or did you not? Did you not get to play that?
Shadow of War. I don't know if I did or not. I can't remember.
Okay, well, I played it, and it's still a good game. Don't get me wrong, but in their trailers, they did show a lot of quick time events without the quick time, so it was kind of just a bunch of cutscenes that they essentially showed. I'm not sure if that's what the Spider-Man thing is gonna be. The Spider-Man game is gonna be of, but it could be. So I'm hoping that that's actually gameplay. Don't get me wrong, I really want the game to be good, but I'm just not sure with all the quick time events in games now. It's just kind of disappointing when they just take the HUD off of that and show it as a trailer.
I
You
mean,
know what I mean?
yeah, I understand that as well. Um, I don't know though because this is, I guess we had the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I believe, or was it the first one or both, on the PS4. But this is like the
Yeah.
first big release Spider-Man game on next-gen consoles. I believe it's a PlayStation exclusive. I'm pretty sure it is, which is exciting because PlayStation, in my opinion. Oh, by the way, if you didn't know already, we we are PlayStation
In
people,
PC.
and PC. Yes, it is a PlayStation exclusive, I believe, which is awesome because PlayStation, in my opinion, is the superior console to Xbox. But honestly, I feel like I don't know. I really haven't owned a lot of Spider-Man games. More like I've owned Spider-Man games, just not ones that have like followed the Spider-Man lore. Not really followed the Spider-Man lore, but been based around Spider-Man. The open world website and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, which honestly is a big part of the Spider-Man games. The web slinging, people care a lot about it, so hopefully this is going to be a good one about that. Like I said, I haven't really seen much of it either. Pretty much all the trailers that they've been showing us and stuff like that. Um, that's all I've seen. It looks decent from the trailers, but like Tristan said, that
Yeah.
could just be the quick time events and different things like that. So um, everything like that.
And yeah, it is a PlayStation exclusive. I
Yeah.
just searched it up here.
Speaking of video games, Tristan, this game has been on my watch list for a while.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
for I think like years now that I
Huh.
first seen this game in development. Uh, Tristan, you wanna go ahead and take it?
Well, anyway, so there's this game, like you said, that's been I really don't want to make this comparison, but I think I'm gonna have to. It's sort of like No Man's Sky level of how long it's been in development. It's called Identity, and basically what it is, it's going to be a computer exclusive. I don't think it's coming to consoles, but I really do think that it's one of the most ambitious games ever created. That like esque No Man's Sky kind of, but I'm just hoping that it doesn't turn into No Man's Sky. Um, but yeah. So basically, what it is it's kind of like real life simulator. You create your avatar and you go into. It's not VR or anything, but you can basically do whatever you want in this game. So I've already pre-ordered it. Cooper is waiting to see what the reviews are looking like to pre-order it, because obviously it could turn into a No Man's Sky and just be utter garbage. I'm hoping that's not the case, but who knows? Yeah, it's been delayed many, many times. I think it's been in development for well over 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, and they just pushed it back another couple of months now. They say that it should be fully out, the entire game should be out in September, but they're releasing the town square of it. I actually have a icon on my desktop that takes me to the countdown. I'm just opening up here. So it is going to be exactly 1 week, 4 days, 4 hours, 9 minutes, and 3 seconds until the town square is released. And yeah, like I said, it's just a real life simulator. You can do whatever you want. You can be rich, you can be poor. So personally, my character is named Chad Kruger, also known as the lead singer for Nickelback. And what me and a couple of my friends are planning on doing is I'm gonna make methamphetamine, okay, in a trailer, and my one friend is going to own a shipping company, so he is going to have multiple shipping routes, do everything legit. But my other friend, he's going to make he's going to make Chad Kruger merchandise, such as hoodies, clothing, baseball caps, and I'm actually going to stick the methamphetamine that I make like totally, it's very realistic. It's going to be one of the most realistic games out there when it actually is complete. Um, but yeah, I'm just going to shove it in there and he's going to ship it off to our buyers, and that's basically what I'm planning on doing in the game. But you can really do whatever you want. You can own a Walmart, you can You can customize your apartment. It really is going to be, I think, a revolutionary game if they do pull it off right and it doesn't turn into another No Man's Sky where it's just disappointing, I think. Do you have anything to add, Cooper?
Um, Pretty much like what you said, though, is some turning into a No Man's Sky, but I feel like this game
Yeah.
is supposed to be, bigger than that. Not just bigger than that, but it's going to be hard to pull off. I believe, with all these promises and stuff like that. Obviously, you see No Man's Sky, all the promises they had, couldn't keep up with it. Um, but the thing about No Man's Sky is that game was so hyped up that I believe, it maybe got to the developer's head and stuff like and everything like that. This game was way under the radar. You know, even coming up to its release of what is it, the alpha or the beta,
Yeah,
you
the
still
alpha, I think.
don't hear anything about it. It's not a big hyped up game, and everything like that. Which is, I honestly think it's better for it. Just so that the developers don't feel rushed to release the game because of it being hyped up.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Um, I personally feel like they're making big promises here, but like I said, I'm gonna wait and see.
Yeah. But I just want to add that you can buy different classes. So there's multiple different. I have the founders package, which basically gives me access to a couple different things that just the citizen package. So it goes citizen, founder, cabbie, motorist, homeowner, biker, upsized, speed demon, and the VIP. The VIP, the most expensive of which, is $500 USD. It comes with a passport, a founder's hat, beta access, $4,000 in-game cash, a two-bedroom apartment, two-car garage, sports car, dozen random outfits, among other things. So it basically sets you up for life on it. Mine, it has beta access, so as soon as the beta for the full game is released, I can play it. Um, but you actually have to purchase it before the game comes out. So far they have raised $1,100,264 from everything, and they have 264 or sorry 24,665 citizens currently registered for the game. So I think it will be a good game. So like Cooper said, it's under the radar, but not so under the radar that nobody knows about the game. Like I said, 24,000 people have already signed up and gave money, pledged money to the game to help the development of it, and to make it all around a better game. Uh, so yeah, that's mostly everything. If you want to look into it more, it has this full website that they have dev blogs that come out every Friday, I believe. And they basically just tell you more about the game every week, all the updates. You can refund your purchases, so if you don't like it, and everything. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a good game. Like I said, I have lots of high hopes for it, and I hope that it does really well.
Yeah. Um, I feel like what we were saying about how it's, or like you were saying about how it's not too popular, but it's not too under the radar, and I feel like that's a good place for a game to be, especially
Yeah.
of this magnitude. That it's not too popular where they're feeling rushed to get it out. The servers are gonna crash as soon as you get on it because there's so many people. But it's also not to the point where the developers are kind of like, oh well, no one really likes, well, this, no one really likes this game. We can kind of slack off a little bit, but I kind of feel like it's in that range of
Yeah,
where
right where it
it's
should
good.
be.
Yeah.
And
You know.
you can really do anything with this game. Like even just from the trailer watching right now, you can be a police officer, you can be a prisoner. If you get caught doing crimes, you actually have to serve time in jail, and you have to be active during this time so that you can't just go AFK for an hour or however long jail is. Obviously, things are slimmed down, like jail sentences and time. I'm sure a day isn't going to be a full in-game day just because people probably won't like nighttime. There's also hunting. Just on the main screen, it shows hunting here, and the graphics just look amazing. Like in the prison section I'm looking at right now, the dripping water physics look amazing, and I think it really just does a really good, from the trailer at least, it looks like it does do a really good way of splicing in all these different activities. Hunting looks really realistic. You have to be downwind from the animal to hunt them so that they don't realize you're there. Um, there's also a bit where a guy's in a garage, and it does really look like car mechanic simulator in the way that that's done. I think that hopefully they have mastered all the things that you can do in this game, and I hope that it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So we're gonna have to. Well, I guess Tristan's gonna have to keep updating on that. Like I said, I'm waiting to see how the game actually plays out. Um. I honestly don't think it's gonna be bad. Like I don't like all the promises they're making. I don't think it's gonna be, what everyone's expecting to be like a complete simulator. I think there's gonna be things here and there that maybe they kind of stretch the truth on a little bit, or maybe they
Yeah.
can't really do that. But it is marketing and everything, and they have to make they kind of have to stretch the truth in marketing a little bit to try and sell the game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll have to see. Um, I don't know how long we've been going here. I don't have a timer or anything. So, back to what I was talking about earlier, I believe. These episodes, I believe, are going to come out every Wednesday. I'm going to try and get them out at least every Wednesday. But this week is going to be a pass on that. I believe I'm going to try and also get an episode up on Saturday. I don't know, we might have one or two guests on Saturday, and then we can get into a big discussion. Excuse me, tell some funny stories maybe. I don't know, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, I think. Just we didn't really talk about much. We just introduced our playoff brackets, which we will keep you updated on, by the way. As each round of the playoffs pass, I'm sure that we will talk about how our brackets did and everything like that. But yeah, go on, Cooper. Sorry for cutting you off like that.
No, it's all good. Um, no, I was just about to wrap it up. If you want to, scared.
Yep.
See, I'm gonna do this a lot. Sometimes when I'm thinking too much, my brain doesn't work and I just can't speak. So I'm gonna be stuttering a lot. No, but if you had anything else you wanted to add or anything, I was just gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, I think I have a couple things. We really do want your guys' suggestions, so we will take your guys' suggestions in the, I think we're going to be posting this on YouTube mostly. We might
Yeah.
go to some other platforms at some point. So just in the comments, just leave your comments, some suggestions, feedback, questions. If you have any questions about us, I'm sure that we can, do a little segment where we answer all of them in the comments, if we get enough, obviously. So go and spam us with questions down there if you want to. Just do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Um,
everything on this podcast as well. Sorry, Cooper.
no,
Everything on
no.
this podcast is our opinion and our opinion alone. So take everything with a grain of salt. If we're just mashing on your favorite team, don't take it personally. That's just how we feel things are. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Also, what Tristan was saying about feedback and everything. There is an official Twitter for the Dartpit podcast. It will be in the description below. I believe the @ is at the Dartpit podcast. I believe. I'm not sure. There will be a link in the description below. I will also link mine and Tristan's personal Twitter in the description below if you want to ask us any questions on there as well. Or like Tristan said in the comments, that would probably be the best place for it. But if you don't want to, the second best place would be on the official podcast Twitter, and then obviously on our personal Twitters on there as well. I also do stream. I've been streaming Counter-Strike every time we play it. I'll put my Twitch link in the description below as well. And I think that's it, unless you have anything else you want plugged in there, or...
Not really, I don't think. I just want to tell everybody thanks for listening to the podcast. If you've got this far through, that's really great of you. Thanks for the support, and that's Tristan out.
Alright. So hopefully, like I said, Saturday we'll have another episode up. And then every Wednesday from there on out, if people like this, maybe we happen 2 times a week. But right now we're going to stick to 1 time a week. Next week, like I said, we're probably going to have maybe a guest or two on. We have a lot of friends who probably would be interested in, and we could honestly get on this podcast really easily. So we'll introduce you to either one or two of them this weekend. And yeah, so like I said, thank you guys for watching or listening, whatever you're doing, and have a good rest of your day.
See you later.